This one's going to be kind of a more unique versus battle. I'm pretty sure most people haven't heard of one of these two characters. On one hand, for DC, we're going to have the Eradicator. I'm picking the very specific Reign of Superman era Eradicator. So this was the one with blue in the center with the black and the really awesome visor. This is the one that I really hoped that when they were doing the Return of Superman that would have been the one. A fantastic 90s version of Superman. You know, didn't have as much in the way of solar absorption. Pretty much had energy blasts from his hands. Cold, calculating. Eventually ended up being the catalyst for the rejuvenation of the actual Superman. So that's what I have on one side. On the other side, Death's Head 2, or Minion. Yeah, you get a look at that. That is 90s. That is totally a 90s character. This is a Marvel UK character. So just give you a look at that. Look at that. You've got a skull, you've got metal, you've got blue, you've got like a blaster for a hand. I'll show you the back of this guy. Yes, that same hand is now a giant knife. Why? It's like liquid metal. Exactly who is Death's Head 2? He was created by AIM. He's a future-based character who has spent a tremendous amount of time essentially assimilating other personalities. So, a very, very strong character. During the time of Marvel UK, I think he got the most, or second most, issues during that time frame. This was like 92, 93, 94. It's a very, very short time for the Marvel UK characters. Essentially, he had the personality of Deadpool really before Deadpool took off. You know, a decent amount of really flippant in your face sort of things, but again, you've got this fantastically created, just awesome design of essentially a cyborg. A lot of different things that are adamantium based upon his body. In his initial 4-issue arc, he actually broke off one of Wolverine's claws when Wolverine attacked him. So, really fantastic, really strongly designed character with essentially like a liquid metal arm. Now, when I do these scenarios, I do them over nine criteria: intelligence, fight ability, strength, speed, durability, invulnerability, energy rejection, versatility, and X factor. It was 5 to 4. The person with 5 more than likely is going to win. So we'll get right into this. Intelligence. Eradicator, actually, this version of Eradicator, essentially is a sentient Kryptonian program that has been damaged and believes that it's actually Superman. Versus Death's Head 2, who is an amalgamation of hundreds of different minds assimilated into one body. I'll ask you the intelligence as Death's Head 2. Fighting ability. A Kryptonian program that believes it's Superman versus a fantastic, well-oiled machine. I mean, in the first 4-issue arc, pretty much it is the future. Almost all of the Marvel superheroes are pretty much dead. Death's Head handles his own against almost all of them. He was also able to do a pretty good job against the X-Men. This was the blue team. I think this is 93. So he was able to hold his own against the 93 team of the X-Men very easily. So there's a tremendous amount of fighting acumen. Strength. Death's Head 2 was able to hold his own against someone like Rhino, again not a top tier, was able to do a pretty good job against someone like Hulk. So he's got a tremendous amount of strength. But I'm still going to give a strength edge to someone like the Eradicator. You've got Kryptonian. Kryptonian DNA, Kryptonian body. There's definitely going to be a much stronger acumen when it comes to overall strength. Speed, same thing. You know, you're looking at Superman level speed. Very, very fast individual. I want to say they've got Death's Head, and I want to say he's just above Sonic, but not by much. Not the Hedgehog. Durability. How well are these guys recovering? Ironically, Eradicator can recover very well if he has access to the energy matrix. Where they're at, sorry, no energy matrix. Death's Head 2 actually recovers very, very quick from almost any form of damage. His liquid metal arm, it's actually been cut in half and then it reforms itself. Anything short of a complete and total system destruction, he begins to rebuild himself very, very quickly. So, a tremendously strong individual. Now I'm looking at vulnerability. I have to look at the best shots these guys are actually able to take. Death's Head 2 was taking full force blast from Cyclops, and just kind of like, what? Oh, you're hitting me? Oh, okay. That's cool. I guess. I'm not even moving. I mean, you know, if you want to hit me with that full force blast, sure, go ahead. You think I'm an enemy? Alright. I look like an awesome villain. Versus what we saw Eradicator. Eradicator, this version, had an issue taking on Steel. Steel was able to break the visor, which was enough to kind of dizzy him a little bit. Perhaps something too, he got destroyed pretty easily when it came to the moves that Cyborg was doing. Cyborg was using Kryptonian lasers to blast holes in him. Looking at what Death's Head can put out from a regular battle style, now I'm thinking he's going to have to do a decent amount more shots than like the Eradicator. So we have the Eradicator an edge when it comes to the overall vulnerability. I think he's going to take a tremendous physical beating. Raw energy projection. I'm going to give this one to Eradicator. Those palm blasts were just ridiculous. And he showed that he can really put a hurting on some individuals pretty quickly with those. He's into the heat vision. Versatility. You know, ironically, I have to give this one to Death's Head just basis the liquid metal arm. He was able to do multiple styles of cannons, different blade configurations, lockpicks, regular claw. That arm is a beautiful thing. That's like the Deus Ex Machina of his character. So now it comes down to X Factor. You know, they're actually pretty evenly matched. I do think that Eradicator definitely takes some of the more physical things. I think he's going to be able to just to punch physically harder. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for Death's Head to really actually get a handle up and get a real good strong combat with. He definitely takes the edge to him being able to take a pretty substantial beating before he gets any sort of actual damage. And I think that some of his shots are going to do a pretty interesting job on someone like Death's Head. Then once it comes down to the overall X Factor, so let's look at the 90s version versus a 90s version of the character. Eradicator got defeated with energy weapons. Death's Head 2 can reconfigure his blaster whenever he needs to. Also has a tremendous amount of information to pull from. By what I was meant to do, he also time travels. Actually, time travel built for a while, lost it because it makes his character kind of bizarre. But he's also been known to cheat, and to cheat a lot. And these two guys in the 90s, one of them almost never lost. And that guy was Death's Head 2. Death's Head 2 during the 90s was such a hot character for Marvel UK that he got to beat up and punk a lot of individuals. Like I said, he was up against the X-Men. It wasn't until Psychic Knife hit him, and I was able to fry circuitry codes, and he was like, oh, so why are we fighting again? He's like, Wolverine, you're hitting me, and it's not really doing anything. Rogue, you touched me, and I actually knocked you unconscious from it. You guys are hitting me left and right, and I'm like, why? What's going on? So I think these two guys that can take in the 90s version of the Eradicator, which is not one of the more powerful versions. Especially this is Reign of Superman version. So as the fight begins to draw on and on and on, the power level that he has is going to drop. Eradicator, very strong character, but without having that constant power source, because he can't metabolize solar energy, he's going to begin to drop. Once it begins to drop, his speed will decrease. His strength will decrease. His invulnerability is going to decrease. His energy output is going to decrease. Where Death's Head is not going to have that issue. And sooner or later, he's going to get in a good couple of shots, which is going to put a nice sized hole right in Eradicator's chest.